Ninas, where we came from, where we are, or the road to freedom. Today, we speak of Ninas, but know that the struggle for the restoration of our sovereignty did not start today. As a matter of fact, the struggle started almost as soon as the sovereignty of the ethnic nationalities was stolen by the imposition of the 1999 Constitution, which maintained a unitary government. With the end of the military regime and return to democracy, there was great hope that the country would be returned to what the people had voted for, and that existed prior to the military intervention in 1966. The hope of the country was dashed when, instead of a return to a federal governance structure with multiple self-governing and autonomous government with their own constitutions, the government was kept centralized in a federal government that kept all the power, the assets, and resources of the ethnic nationalities. Making things worse, this so-called constitution was not put to a referendum, and so was not made by the people. Deprived the citizens of their right to benefit contained in Chapter 2, made federal character unenforceable, gave the lion's share of the oil and other assets to the far north through a federal account sharing process that was exclusively weighted to favor the far north and make corruption official. Let me take you back over 2 decades of our journey. It all started when the military regime of General Abdul Salami Abubakar imposed a unitary 1999 constitution, which in turn was a wholesale rival of the 1979 constitution that was also known to be a victory charter for the Nigeria-Biafra War of 1967 to 1970. When it was made public a few weeks after inauguration of General Obasanjo as president, a better half of those in the legal profession gathered at several conferences and, without much ado, recognized the flaws, loopholes, and selfish intentions, then concluded that the Constitution was not legitimate and would not lead Nigeria to any form of advancement. It was important that the mechanism or vehicle to set up a country-wide rejection of this forgery of a constitution was put in place. The journey commenced when, in 2004, the Pro-National Conference Organization, PRONACO, was established to rework the damaged federal constitutional basis of Nigeria. PRONACO being the People's Sovereign National Conference of Ethnic Nationalities in Nigeria, convened in all ethnic nationalities and quickly mandated its representation to go back to their people and to come up with ratified draft of how they would want to participate in the Union of Nigeria. The conference sat in plenaries across the cities of Lagos, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Jos, and Kano, then returned to Lagos for the final sitting, and in participation, conveners in the likes of Anthony Ehanoro, Wole Soyinka, Chukwu Emeka Odumego Ojukwu, and similar leaders across the territories. This resolution was an agreement derived from the Composite People's Constitution as presented and defended by ethnic nationalities representation in those sequential conferences. And it is important to know that there were observers from the international community, including the US and European Union observers. In August 2006, a delegate from Castina moved the motion for adoption of the draft People's Constitution that emerged from the 29-point resolution of the conference. In furtherance of the PRONACO consensus to restore the federal basis of the Nigerian Union, in 2007, the Movement for a New Nigeria was set up as an enforcement of the consensus at the time to exclude the 12 contiguous northern states that had introduced and embraced the Sharia legal system against the secular basis for Nigeria. The Allies had insisted that democracy and Sharia system could not coexist in the same political space, hence the need for a new vehicle, the Movement for New Nigeria. On the 23rd of May 2007, MMN, through its legal counsel, filed a suit at the Federal High Court Abuja to challenge the legitimacy of the imposed 1999 Constitution, seeking the termination of the entire Constitution. At the court hearings, which had the Attorney General of the Federation representing the federal government, legal representation of the National Assembly, and others admitted the people case which they could not defend the challenge, but insisted that the plaintiff had no lucus standi. In English, the plaintiff had no status at law to bring in the case to challenge the legitimacy of the 1999 Constitution. Having acknowledged that the restoration of the people's sovereignty did not need the participation or permission of government, the Joint Multi-Regional Vehicle instituted the MMN Lagos Declaration 30th of June 2011, by which the Allies partner blocks, the Lower Niger, South-South, and Southeast, the Yoruba land, and the Middle Belt publicly rejected the Caliphate-imposed 1999 Constitution, mandating regional self-determination actions which included referendum and international outrage. In furtherance to the mandate of the MMN Lagos Declaration, the people of the Lower Niger on the 27th of April 2015 held the Solemn Assembly in Port Harcourt City to wholly repudiate the 1999 Constitution. In that assembly, the 1,885 ethno-linguistic map of the Lower Niger was adopted as a geographical basis of federating. The assembly mandated the distillation of character of relationship as well as asset protection and guarantee scheme to protect the asset of the indigenous people in other blocks of Nigeria. On the mandate for international outrage of the MNN Lagos Declaration, an LNC team visited Capitol Hills, Washington to make a case for the termination of the operation of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution at the special congressional event on Nigeria in May 2015. The team also made informal consultation for the same matter at the UN headquarters in New York in the same year. 2 years later, still in furtherance to mandate of the MNN Lagos Declaration, the Yoruba indigenous people held the Yoruba Solemn Assembly at Ibadan on the 7th of September 2017. The Assembly publicly repudiated the 1999 Constitution as the basis of the Federation of Nigeria and proclaimed the self-determination right of the Yoruba land to reclaim autonomy of Yoruba land. Then a year later, on the 8th of July 2018, the indigenous people of the Middle Belt, in furtherance to the mandate of the MNN Lagos Declaration, held the Emergency Assembly of the people of the Middle Belt in Jos Plateau State to publicly reject the unitary constitutional arrangement of Nigeria. In that assembly, the people of the Middle Belt also proclaimed the self-determination right of the Middle Belt and its autonomy. When all regional partners of the MNN alliance had accomplished and concluded the primary mandate of its declaration, in fulfillment of enforcement of the consensus, the alliance on December 11, 2018, held the Joint Multi-Regional Freedom Pact Proclamation in Lagos and resolved to reject further national elections on the basis of the repudiated 1999 Constitution and demanded an immediate transitioning process for the orderly distillation of successor state unit. It also resolved that the instrument for such resolution should be by referendums. In 2019, January 17th, an LNC team raised a global alarm about the killings of Christians and ethnic cleansing in Nigeria during the Coordinated Press Conference on Nigeria at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. The team presented undeniable evidence that showed the coordinated links and similarities with the Boko Haram Fulani military headsmen, ISIS, ISWAP, operations, and how the federal government conspicuously watched. Later that year, between June and July. The same team from the LNC, now accompanied by the survivors and victims of Fulani herdsmen rampage in the Middle Belt territories, attended International Religious Freedom Ministerial Roundtable event at Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C., where they made a case for the United States' better understanding of the grave situation in Nigeria and the need to appoint a U.S. Special Envoy to visit Nigeria and possibly confirm their realities. In response to the case made by our team, a UN Special Rapporteur visited Nigeria in August 2019 and amid widespread reports of routine killings and other alarming negative incidents. The UN the same month made damning verdict that the constitutional arrangement of Nigeria was pressured cooker for injustice. The verdict came on the heels of the US verdict on the Fulani-driven ethnic cleansing. Another special rapporteur who visited Nigeria in 2020 had similar findings. In December 2019, Nigeria was placed on US Special Watch List for infractions on religious freedom. The report also suggested that the Fulani-dominated federal government of Nigeria and armed forces tolerated these religious infractions and even participated in it. In 2020, Nigeria became the first democracy to be placed on the blacklist for egregious religious infractions. In 2020, Nigeria was ranked 4th in the Global Terrorist Index, a very troubling achievement given the genocide on Christians by various terrorist groups, including the Fulani herdsmen, Boko Haram, ISIS, ISWAP, and others. In 2020 also, the International Criminal Court issued a report indicating that they had reasons to believe that the Nigerian military had committed crimes against humanity that arose to the level of war crimes and therefore needed further review. The United Nations issued a report indicating that over 1,005 had been killed, 300,000 had fled as refugees to other countries, and 3 to 4 million have been displaced from their land. Due to the obsessed cost of governance, Nigeria in 2020 also officially became poverty capital of the world, with almost 100 million people living on less than $2 per day. The joint multi-regional vehicle, the MNN, having accomplished the enforcement of its primary secondary mandate with the Freedom Pact proclamation, in which it resolved to reject further national election on the basis of repudiated 1999 Constitution, set up a new vehicle to carry the Indigenous Nationalities as Alliance for Self-Determination. In 2020, the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINES, was born, fulfilling its primary mandate. On the 16th of December 2020, the Nigerian Indigenous Nationality Alliance for Self-Determination declared a constitutional force majeure in a well-attended worldwide conference. By that action, the Indigenous Nationalities Alliance had publicly given the government of Nigeria notice to the fact that the basis for the Union of Nigeria, being the 1999 Constitution, could no longer hold due to certain circumstances, dispute, and grievances, and to be as civil as the alliance has always been from the inception. When the imposition of the forged document was used to take away the rights of the people, NINES also gave the federal government 90 days to publicly acknowledge the constitutional grievances and sovereignty dispute as declared by the people of the South, the Middle Belt of Nigeria. The alliance demanded that within 90 days, the federal government should commit to begin a decommissioning process of the 1999 Constitution as the basis of Union of Nigeria. It cited examples of similar situation where destructive constitutions were jettisoned, example being the Apartheid Constitution of South Africa and the military constitution of Chile and Algeria. NINES also requested that the unitary government of Nigeria should make a formal announcement suspending all further national elections conducted under the illegitimate 1999 Constitution, since winners of such elections will be sworn into office with the said illegitimate Constitution, and in turn, provided more fuel and life to illegitimate constitution. NINES also requested the government to formally invite the people of the South and Middle Belt of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning process. And finally, NINES requested that the federal government, with a 90 days period, formally initiate a time-bound transitioning process to midwife the emergence of a fresh constitutional protocol by two-stage process. The first being the constituted regional blocks will first distill and ratify their various constitution by referendum, and a second stage where these regional blocks will come to the center to negotiate the terms of federating afresh as may be dictated by the outcome of referendum conducted in the said regional blocks. That is our journey to freedom. Let's spread the message of NINES. Let's all join hands to get back our stolen sovereignty. For more information about NINES, its progress, and how to support the progress, call NINES on 0813 425 4584 or 0705 924 9885. Visit www.freedomfromnigeria.com. Sign the petition to decommissioning the imposed 1999 Constitution at www.ninesffn.org/register to end 1999 Constitution now.